Hey everybody, welcome to episode 27 of Between the Lanes. I'm Ralph.
And I'm Ron.
All right, we got some hot topics this week and maybe a rant or two. So let's go ahead.
How hot are they?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the race results going.
Okay. So last week was a pretty busy week. Hey, did you see this thing?
No, yeah, I saw somebody. Who was it that posted that?
Joe Ligori.
Hold on.
So there's our official welcome. But anyway,
Wait a minute. So who's who?
well, I think you'd be Boy Wonder.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm the old guy. Isn't Batman the old guy?
I guess I don't know.
All right, here we go.
All right.
So, okay, the OCC Ohio Challenge Cup was at Mark's Model World in Canton, Ohio. And I think they said this was like the largest race they've ever had in the history of the OCC.
That's pretty cool.
Or at least in the last couple of years anyway. I mean, I don't know how far back they go, but when they do that. But anyway, I mean, I think the record was 70 entries before, and I think they had like 80-something at this one. Forgive me, Justin, I didn't look at the exact numbers, so I'm sure it was over 80. So GT1B, Bud Denning in the center was the winner. Chuck Cron, which is on the right, is second, and Jim Harder on the left was third. In the GT1A class, Willie Custer in the center was the winner. Greg Mayer on the left was second, and Eric Shirey, looking all smug, was third. And Willie Custer made it two in a row when he won the Group 10 race. And Eric Shirey was second to Willie, and Greg was third. And in GTP, Greg Mayer was your winner, and Eric Shirey was second, and Ralph Middall was third. And the wait a minute, I forgot. Batman Robin, hey.
Pow!
So the Penn Jersey NASCAR Series was at the race place in New Jersey. And don't have any photos of the podium, but Matt Bruce was the winner in the Cup class with Joe M. second. Jesse Holman was third. In Xfinity, Jerry Herbert was the winner with Matt Bruce second, and John Mattis was third. Let's wait for a comment there. JPM Performance Hard Body Series was at the track in South Bend, Indiana. And the Pony Stock class was won by Rick Stagan, big number one there for Rick. Woo! And second was Austin Milcherska on the right, and Dave Garino was third. And in the Super Stock class, Austin was your winner, and Zach Woods was second, and Dave Garino was third once again. The Central Illinois Slot Series was at Speedville in Bartonville, Illinois. And in the B&E hard body class, it was Kurt Vincent, who was not available for the photo, so that's her standing in the middle. Dave Van Horn Jr. on the right was second. And for some reason, I didn't write down the third place guy. Shame on me. Shame. Oh, no. Dave Van Horn and then JR. Jets JR on the left.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Hard body amateur. The winner was Jason Plummer in the second. I don't know if it's Plummer or Plumer. Probably Plumer because there's no B in there. Tom Baker was second. Mark Miller was third. Hard body pro, Ken Williams was your winner. Dave Guyman was second. And Jeff Goldberg was third. Dirt Late Model was won by Ken Williams, with Tony Kindig second and Bruce Adamson third. Smile, Bruce. GTP, Ken Williams was your winner again, followed by Toby Kindig, and PJ Baltz was third. In Can-Am, Dave Guyman won, with Brian Wallig second and Jason Plumer in third. Then we had the B&E Crosstown Challenge Series. They were at Chicagoland Raceway. Superstock was ran on the Fiedler Flat. Neil Eisler was the winner with I guess I didn't have any pictures of that podium either. Jim Kreider was second, and Ken Eisler was third. Pony stock on the King, Neil Eisler was your winner. Jim Kreider second, and Bernard Powell was third. Mid-South Slot Car Racing Association was at Archdale. 4-inch class. Guy Spalding was your winner in the center. Shane Parent second on the left. Timmy Bottoms third on the right. In the scale, we don't have a picture of this podium. In the scale 4.5-inch race,
Big Money won it.
Big Money Carl Burrow was the winner. He won by some big laps, or he won by 10.
Yeah.
I wonder if he paid the race director for like an extra lap of heat or something. Big money.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Guy Spalding second, Trey Buck Foster third.
That's a pretty handy ass kicking though. We compare it to how close the rest of the field was.
Is that a big money, big ass kicking?
That is.
GTP, Guy Spalding was the winner. Shane Parent was second, and Russ Martin was third. And Dirt Late Model, Guy Spalding wins again. He wins 3 out of 4. Shane Parent second, Walker McNulty third. Boom. And then Retro East was at Hudson Valley Raceway. No photos. They ran stock cars in F1. Kind of a sentimental, kind of sad thing. This was the last race for Hudson Valley Raceway. They've decided to close their doors, and they were one of the, like original tracks way back when in the early days of Retro East, and I think they've been open for 10 years at least. So stock cars was won by Jimmy Williams. Dom Luongo was second. Jerry Herbert was third. In F1, Ed Soll was the winner. Jerry Herbert was second. Keith Libby was third. Great Lakes ISRA was 2 weeks ago. I forgot to report this last week. They were at Chicagoland Raceway. B Production, Dale Lipe was the winner. Chuck Gambo second. Kevin Van Pelt third. JRL was Dale Lipe winning again with Kevin Van Pelt second and JP Milcherska in third. Open 12, Rob Voska won with Ricky D second and Chuck Gambo third. And we had the same podium in the 24th Eurosport race. I think Voska's rubbing Ricky's head there for some good luck. We used to do that with Tracy Chin. The SCRRA was at Buena Park Raceway. No photos of the podium. F1, Dale Yamashita was your winner. Mil Conroy was second. Brian Warmack third. Can-Am, Dale Yamashita was your winner again with Brian Warmack second, and Rick Lynn was third. The Florida Slot Car Series was at P1 Raceway down in Florida. No pictures of podiums, but NASCAR Group 1, Mike Biscuit Brissett was the winner, followed by Dale King and Marcus Ramos. Group 2 was Bob Herzog was the winner. Mike Fleming, not the Mike Fleming, was second, followed by Tim Yowzy. LMP Group 1, Mike Brissett won again with Ken Green second, Dale King third. Group 2, Bob Herzog won again. Tim Yowzy was second. Mike Fleming was third. And then GTP in Group 1, Dale King was the winner, followed by Marcus and Ken Green. And the Group 2 GTP was won by Tim Yowzy, followed by Bob Herzog and Ralph Josie. Last week we talked about the Ronnie Spencer Memorial Race in the UK, so we got some kind of pictures of winners. So in the UKRA class, TJ, they're holding the cup, was the winner. The vintage class, Will Stemmen was the winner. And Dave Wright on the right there. I like his shirt, difference that Dave makes.
Yeah.
He was the big trophy winner. They just said that on the post he was the big trophy winner. So I don't know exactly what the big trophy represented, but hey, so
Something pretty cool though. And that's boom, winning.
Boom. That's your winning racers of the week, of last week, and even a couple weeks ago. We didn't forget some of you guys. So
Sunday.
I don't even have to cue you anymore on this. I got you going. So this coming weekend, you got the Jeff Nail Memorial down at Slot Cars R Us in White House, Tennessee. I believe that's a hard body NASCAR race this year.
Yeah,
You've got the bracket national slot car races at Tri-State Raceway in Middletown, Ohio. You've got the R4 ORS warm-up race at Max Tom Thumb in Columbus, Ohio. It's actually Tom Thumb Hobbies. It was Max for so many years.
Just old school.
Yes, yep. So you got the Midwest Slot Car Series Great Lakes Combo at Real Speed Raceway in Fort Wayne. And they're having a wing car race down at Mid-America in Bloomington, Illinois, at Mid-America Bloomington. And that's kind of all the races I've got wrote down. So
okay,
there's your final POW. And that's all, folks.
All right. So this week we have a couple hot topics to go over. But first, we had some questions in the mailbox this week.
Yes.
So I guess, and it's related to tires, and we've gone over tires before, but it's something that it seems like it always gets brought back up, right? So
right.
Do you have the questions that we had
specifically?
Sure. Okay.
So one of our viewers wrote in the mailbox, and some of his questions in his message was, why are there so many part numbers for tires? How many different rubbers are there? You want to know how important a durometer is.
All right. You want to go? Let's go over those one by one. How about that? One at a time. Start with.
Okay. So when to narrow your tires. So we will start off with
the part numbers.
Why so many part numbers?
Okay. So the main reason for all the part numbers is because you have different hub sizes, different hub materials, and different rubber types. So let's say, for instance, you could have a natural rubber on a small, medium, and large hub. So it's 3 part numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And then you could have small, medium, and large plastic hubs. So that could be 6 part numbers just for a natural tire. And then when you throw treated in the mix.
No, wait a minute, stop.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Because in this case, because he asked about a certain manufacturer, and I'm not going to bring any names up because I don't want it to sound like the guy's saying bad things about that manufacturer. He just like brought up a manufacturer and said, "How come there's so many part numbers?" Well, with not that particular manufacturer direct, but some. We're just talking rear tires. We're not talking front tires or anything. We're talking rear tires. So. With one manufacturer, there's 3 different axle sizes. And there's 4 different hub sizes in one material. And I think there's 3 hub sizes in metal material. Right. Okay, so if you took, just say, treated rubber, and there's 3 types of rubber. There's natural, untreated, treated, and wonder. Right. So let's just take untreated natural rubber. Right. You could put 7 different rims in there by 3 different axle sizes. And then all your different diameters as far as the finished OD of the tire. Sure. I mean, so you have like 30 part numbers, basically. Right. Right. It gets out of hand. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. So, yeah, I mean, that's why that particular manufacturer really has all them numbers, because for one, he has 3 different axle sizes and 7 different rims. So right there's 21 different rims, 7 rims. Sure. And this particular racer mentioned that he was racing scale cars. So yes, if I would recommend, if you wanted to just start out, if you didn't know where to start, just find a middle of the road hub size and decide if you either want plastic or metal. I mean, that's up to you. I like plastic hubs. Some people like metal hubs. Well, and sometimes it just comes down to what's in the showcase too. Right. Because I'm just saying, start out with like a middle size hub if you got it to choice. Right. I
and
mean, I don't.
buy a natural and then buy a treated, and then you can kind of know where you got to go from there, basically.
Right. Or I think the best advice is probably just ask a couple of the local guys that do
Sure.
well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely. If you
starting.
have, if you have that option, yeah.
Right. Right.
So,
Because a lot of times, if someone has me run their car, I'll say, well, you need a bigger hub or you need a smaller hub. And they'll go put it on and I'll run the car and it's better. But when they run the car, it's not better for them. Like, again,
right.
what works for me and my driving style may not work for somebody else.
Right. And what was the second question again?
The second question is, like how many different rubbers are there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
So,
we
so,
covered
so,
that.
so basically, like I said, you have the untreated natural, you have the treated natural or treated, and you have Wonder Rubber.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, technically, there's more than that, but those are the three most common that you're going to
Three
find.
most popular, correct. And then, it's like in the plastic material hubs, they've got four different hub diameters. One's 400, one's 470, one's 510, and one's 600. So, if you're going to start, maybe you want to start with the big hub at 470, and either you need to go bigger or you need to go smaller.
Yeah. And I get this question with my donuts all the time. Almost like half the people that buy donuts, they say, where do I get the hubs and what size hub do I need to use?
Right.
And I always tell them, you can reuse your old hubs. You don't have to go buy new hubs. If you have good used hubs, you can reuse them. And my donuts have like a 385 hole in them. So I always tell them to try to use at least a 400 to make sure it's tight in the hole. And
Right.
you really don't want to if you try to stretch it over like 485 to 500, I mean, you're going to have a tough time doing it if you've never done it before. So I tell people to start with like a 400 or a 450 hub, and they can use whatever hub you have.
Right.
So.
And if you're going to stretch over something really big, just make sure you got lots of lacquer thinner on both parts.
Sure.
Slide it together.
Sure.
So, and then the next question was, I don't know which is, I guess I will go to when to narrow. Like, when do you narrow your tires? And personally, back in my wing card days, that's how we really tuned our tires, was we narrowed the width.
Topic preview alert.
And then it got to the point where we just started not changing the width of the tire, but just changing the hardness of the tire. So,
right.
So now comes in a durometer, but even back then we didn't have a durometer. Okay, so it was all by kind of feel, because a lot of tracks we used to go to, we didn't have a timer to look at when we practiced. Okay, like you'd put your car out there and you'd run it, and you not only tires, but you change your motor and you got to, is it faster? I mean, you'd have to visibly see it or feel the car. It was like a lot of guesswork at times, but some guys were really good at saying, wow, that made my car go faster, or that motor's faster. But I mean, when to narrow your tires? I mean, basically, if your car is stuck or your car has got too much bite,
if it chatters in the corners,
or wants to step
like
out,
yeah,
that's the time to narrow your tires. But
and as I always say, ideally, you don't want to have to narrow your tires. You want to just go to a different tire, but if you have to narrow them,
right? And see,
wait till if the car's chattering or biting too hard off the corner or something, then try narrowing them.
But see, back then when we were racing wing cars, we were gluing the track, so you would narrow your tires. Well, either you narrow your tires or you put down less glue.
Right.
Okay, but then the whole glue thing was a curve. So if you didn't really know how to glue, you were kind of lost. As, do I put more down? Do I take some up? I mean, it's kind of an art sometimes, but I don't really recommend narrowing tires unless, to me, if I narrow a pair of tires, it's because I don't have something else in my box that day, or I can't buy something out of the showcase that's going to work.
Yeah.
So,
and if you have to narrow them, start small, because
yes,
you can't put on what you've already taken off. So.
Right. Yeah. So, and then how important is a durometer?
I mean, I can't tell you when the last time I really actually used my durometer was. It's been so long. I mean, I thought the hydrometer was really important when I was getting into learning tires, but
Right.
now it's just, I mean, I don't even think about it, to be honest with you.
Right. I can't really.
Unless I'm checking Wonder Rubber. That'd be about the only time I really hydrometer something.
Right. I mean, a durometer is important. I don't think it's a must-have item.
No, definitely not.
If you know that if I go from a treated to a wonder, you know that's harder. So, but if you're trying to get something in between, yeah, you need a durometer to get more precise about it. Because there's days, treated tire's too soft, but a wonder's too hard. So to know where to go in the middle, you got to be able to durometer these two. If this is a 20 and this is a 16, you're looking for an 18. Yeah, you're gonna need a durometer because you can't really pinch them or squeeze them and say.
Right.
I mean, if you're looking at a pile of 20 Wonder Rubber tires, all in the same hub and everything, there's gonna be difference in there. So sometimes you can. I mean, if you got a really stiff pair, you can feel it. But if you got it's a really soft pair, you can feel it. But trying to get that in between, yeah. I mean, I think a durometer. I think every racer should have one, especially as you get more serious about it, for sure.
But it's not something that a new racer has to have to be able to race.
But I think that when you 2 points can make a huge difference on some days.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Going too harder or too softer. I mean, it can be a huge difference.
Definitely.
So,
especially the higher up kind of level you're racing at too, So
right. Yep. So that's kind of all the questions he had, or the main questions he had. So I hope we.
And we get questions all week long, and we.
Yeah, a lot of
I'm sure we've answered everybody's question, but
yeah, a lot of people just ask a quick, simple question. I don't think they mean for it to be brought up on the show, but
right.
I think this one was more of a if you talked about this on the show and I told him we talked about tires in some of the early shows.
Yeah, and you did the how-to video also on how to make tires, which you can find on our YouTube channel.
But he really wasn't looking for that, so yeah. So anyway, and Donald, if you have more specific questions, you can send us a message and we'll try and answer them for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. If he was to sit down and write a book on tires, I don't even know where to begin. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of a complicated. Sometimes it's just hard to explain.
Maybe Felipe's book will have a chapter on tires in it.
I doubt it. Yeah, maybe some blue.
I mean, maybe like some old school tires, maybe.
Silicones.
Yeah.
Candies. So.
All right. So one thing that happened last week, last Friday, I believe it was, is the IRA announced that they have made the Professor motor.
They have approved it.
They have approved it. And it's all the same specs as the JK. I have not tried one myself. Everyone that I've talked to who has tried one said that it's not any faster than the 7R, but and most people say it's a little bit slower, but it's just they don't seem to have the two-speed or two-stepping issues. So basically, it's the consensus so far is it's a little bit slower, but they don't have problems. So for what that's worth, I don't know. Buy some, try them out.
And then I thought someone posted that they had some that had a two-step problem, but
I didn't see that. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
And then, but what's faster, a long shaft R7 or a short shaft R7?
Couldn't tell you. I've never bought a short shaft.
Because see, they approved the short shaft R7 too.
Right, correct.
So, yeah, you can run any of the R7 motors, short or long shaft now, along with the Professor motor.
Right.
And then after April 1st, no more R motors or ink stamped motors after April 1st in premier events.
Yeah.
But some
regions, and I thought it was real childish that once JK found out that IRA was opening up their motor submissions, that he decided to pull his R4 sponsorship. Like,
did that really happen?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of lame. So
Okay, so he pulled it because they let another motor in.
because they opened up submissions.
Oh,
This is before they didn't even prove anything. He just found
okay.
out they're opening submissions and felt like he was getting screwed. So he thought he'd say, "Well, I'll just take my R4 sponsorship then."
Oh.
Par for the course.
For every action, there's a reaction.
Yeah.
So
that's our IRA news. Other news, possibly first ever Ron's rant. I don't know. So I guess a week or two ago, at the Hillbilly Nats, I guess it was the Hillbilly Nats.
Hillbilly Nats, January 25th to the 29th, I believe.
Yep, at Tracy Brown's Slot Cars R Us wing car race. I guess they had some kind of a meeting, and they've decided that they picked 5 people to form a board of directors, and they thought that they would basically hijack the USRA, I guess you call it. I mean,
well, yeah, it sounds that way.
I mean, or they've started an alternative organization with the same name.
Right. Well, I heard the new USRA is what I heard.
Whatever.
Posted.
Same thing.
The wing USRA wing division that is it 5 or 6? I think it's 5. I was thinking it was 6, but I guess it's 5. No, it's 6. No, it is 6 guys.
Yeah. So their goal, I guess, is they're going to make wing car racing great again. What that means, I don't exactly know. I would assume maybe.
Well, I heard
entries. I don't know.
That they're going to save it.
They're going to save wing cars and make it great again. Well, I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
But, and basically they're doing. They felt that this was necessary because they didn't like decisions made by the current national director. They might not have liked the national director personally, or whatever. They thought it was going in a bad direction, so they decided that they take the name and start their own. So here's my deal with this, right?
Okay.
Is you don't like what the USRA is doing, fine. I got no problem with that. If you think you can do it better, you got no problem with that either.
Right.
But why not vote in a new national director and change the USRA rules the right way, or B, start your own organization and come up with your own name? Like I don't like the fact that they're also calling themselves the USRA.
Well, like I posted, kind of
crappy.
If the USRA is such a shit show and no one wants anything to do with it,
why do you want their name?
Why would you want their name?
Right.
I mean, why would you even want to use that name? I mean, pick a new name, start fresh, start new, make it exciting, and see what happens.
Yeah.
But going back to your thing about changing the national director and changing rules, I mean that's all in the rule book. I mean, you read the rule book, it's pretty much black and white, plain English that most people can comprehend, and that's how you get changes done. Now, and believe me, you know, a lot of people don't really understand how this whole thing works, but any USRA member can submit rule change proposals.
How many people on the new USRA BOD are actually USRA members?
2.
Okay.
Well, 1.
Okay.
1. Just 1.
Okay.
Because he's a manufacturer member.
Would that be Gugu, I guess?
Yes, that'd be Gugu.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
So he had to pay his dues for 2018 back in, I don't know, by December 1st or something. I don't remember what the date was. All of us manufacturers that have approved products had to pay, but you know, we paid in December of 2017 for 2018. So like I'm a member of USRA right now because I'm a manufacturing member. Okay.
Right. In good standing. You paid your dues. You're in good
Right.
standing with the organization.
But most racers don't become members until they go to the Nats and they pay for their membership.
Right. Correct.
Okay, and technically in that case, I mean, really your membership is really only good for about, like, if you go to the Wing Car Nats and it's in the middle of August and you pay your $10, after the Nats is over, unless there's an online bylaws vote, your membership is worthless, because either, again, we'll back up, because in USRA there's technical rules and there's bylaws. Okay, so bylaw. Okay, let's talk technical rules. Technical rules. If you're a USRA member and you want to propose a rule change, a technical rule change to a class or classes, you propose, you put it in writing, you send it into the USRA. Okay, the USRA, the board of directors, they review all the proposals and they check them to make sure that they're written correctly and they're self-explanatory and easy to understand, and that's the first thing they do. And then they decide, well, is this something that needs to be changed? And that's kind of a screwed up deal, because it doesn't matter if there's 3 guys on a BOD or 5 guys on a BOD. It depends on how those people see things. There could be a real need for rule change, but because they all are on the same page that they don't want to change something, then that does not go forward for a vote of the entire membership. But when I say entire membership, if I propose to change, let's say I'm going to propose, let's put Group 20 arms into the Box Stock 12 class. So I write my proposal, I send it in. If it passes the BOD and they're going to send it on to the vote at the Nats, because it will only be voted on at the Nats by the racers entered at the Nats in that class on that day, those are the only people that's going to vote on it. And I have to be present. The proposer of the rules have to be present. So a lot of times people propose things, they don't go to the Nats, so their proposals don't get brought up.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a problem with that. Okay, and I always had a problem with that, and I believe that every vote should be put onto an online vote. And if it's for wing car specific things, only wing car racers should vote on it online. Same with the scale guys, because not every racer, every member. I mean, a lot of people will miss this year's Nats because of something, but they're going to go next year. But the group of people at the Nats this year could change something that this guy who didn't get to go home or didn't get to go to the Nats and maybe state his argument or his side of it at the meeting, he may never go again because that rule affected him in some way that he's just done with it.
Yeah.
So the whole voting thing is kind of a messed up deal any way you look at it, because it doesn't truly represent the entire membership in either division. Like when it comes to bylaws voting, every paid member gets to vote. And that's one of the contentions of like a year ago when it was proposed to drop some of the wing car classes from the NAT schedule. Well, see, the NAT schedule is in the bylaws. So when you have a bylaws vote, it goes online and it goes to all the paid members to cast a vote. Some people abstain, some people don't. But in that case, you had scale racers voting on the wing car
rules, right?
Right. But at the same time, when you looked at all the numbers at the end of it, if you took all the scale racers out of the equation, the wing car racers themselves voted them classes out, all on their own. They didn't need the scale guys to vote. Every one of them classes would have been voted out by the wing car guys alone.
Right.
And the numbers show that. So, you know, even if the scale guys didn't vote, they still would have voted those classes out. The majority of the wing car guys voted those classes out of the net.
Maybe they should have somebody should propose like maybe it's a bylaw or whatnot, but to say when you join a membership, you have to choose. You can join Division 1 or Division 2 or pay more and have like a dual.
Well, you could,
and then that way you can only vote on which one you're got a member as, you know?
Right. But see, here's the thing. I mean, like, when it comes down to it, if you want to buy votes, I mean, what's another $10 to be able to vote on something that you don't even race, you're not involved in?
Sure, right.
So, I mean, I see what you're saying, but there's still kind of a fallacy with that.
Sure, to a point. Yeah, right, to a point. But I think it would help it some.
Right.
I don't know that you'd ever fix it, but
right, because there are.
I mean, everyone knows the USRA's got a lot of problems. Like, we get it, right? But my thing is, like you said, I mean, like, those guys voted on it. They voted Roger in,
right?
But
well, the majority. I mean, there was two other people that ran against Roger, but Roger won the majority.
Right.
I mean, not everyone voted for Roger. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't vote for him for whatever reason. Okay.
Yeah. See, like, to me, when you want to try to keep the name, to me, it sort of delegitimizes every USRA Nats race and winner that's already been held. That's just how I kind of see it.
Okay.
It's because now it's like, so there's going to be a real Nats and there's going to be a fake Nats.
Well, yeah, now we're going to have two Nats.
There's going to be two USRA Nats. I mean,
no, well, there's going to be one USRA Nats, or one.
But there's going to be two races called the USRA Nats.
Right, and the other one's going to be the
official.
Yeah, the other
USRA, the real USRA, original USRA, is going to go on.
Right.
It's not just going to die.
Right. It's going to go on.
There's going to be people that go to the real USRA Nats because they want that national championship.
Correct.
Which is why everyone goes all the time.
Right.
So, but if there's this new one, and they continue to call themselves USRA, like, I don't know, just change the name, guys. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
change the name.
It's a messed up situation. And the thing is, there's going to be two wing car Nats. Like I said, one's going to be recognized as the official USRA wing car Nats, whether people like that or not. That's the way it's going to be. And there's going to be people there that won't go to the other, whatever you want to call it, Nats, okay?
Yeah.
And like I've said all along, I have no problem with anybody, I guess, wanting to start another group.
Sure, right.
Okay, if they're unsatisfied or can't get through to the current group, in the big picture of things, it's really not right because you're just splintering things. Okay, so there are channels for those that are disenchanted to try and get changes made, but here's the thing. All the guys that are bitching and whining and crying about the way things are, they've never once ever submitted a proposal. None of them. Well, maybe one has, maybe a couple, but years ago, but nothing in the last year or two. And okay, so the other day I asked myself, okay, so these 6 guys are now going to save wing car racing. We need to save wing car racing and make it great again. Well, what in the hell has happened in the last, I don't care, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years that screwed up wing car racing? Okay, so they're going to tell you, well, throwing Cahoza out has screwed it up.
And they'll say Cahoza and Red Fox probably.
Well, Red Fox didn't get thrown out of anything. Well, okay, that's on the scale side.
Yeah.
But it's the same deal for both, okay? Yeah. The USRA has a rule book, okay, plain and simple. There's rules for manufacturers. There's rules for racers. There's rules for the officials. Everyone's supposed to go by the fucking rules, okay? I mean, if I come to the tech line and you say, we all have to tech at 32,000's clearance, okay? You bring your car up and you're at 32, you're passed. I bring my car up, I'm at 20. What are they going to tell me? They're going to say, oh, you're good because you're not following the rules, but you're okay? No. They're going to say, go make your car 32,000's clearance. Okay, fine. But when it comes to a manufacturer who can no longer adhere to the rules, when you throw that out, then people get upset because, well, you can't throw my stuff out. Well, if that guy can't follow the rules, then he's out.
Yeah. Be mad at
Be
them.
mad at the manufacturer,
Right.
not the guy in charge of enforcing the rules. Because the thing is, like, if you let one manufacturer slide, then pretty soon the rest of them are going to slide. And pretty soon you're going to have total chaos. And we're going to be paying ungodly amounts of money for parts that mysteriously went up in price for no reason. Because now there's no price restrictions or there's no controls and all this. So that goes back to the whole we're going to save wing car racing. Okay? So now we're seeing rule changes that are going to cost racers more money and going to obsolete all the stuff they have. I mean, a month ago, we knew that the Nats was going to be at Tracy's, and they were going to go by USRA rules. And we all know what the USRA rules are, okay? So if you bought a chassis for 27 light that's supposed to be 4.100 inches or whatever it is, I don't remember the exact number, you buy a chassis. Okay, so now, well, we're going to change the rules in 27 light, and you can run whatever chassis you want. There's no submissions. There's no guide length rule, blah, blah, blah. My shit just got obsoleted. I'm not even going to be competitive, and I just spent 90.
Yeah, I don't see how basically no chassis submissions helps anything, but that.
No, because and what's going to happen, and this, again, we've already been down this road before. Guys are going to show up.
I can't get what he's got.
Yep, and then guys are going to walk away because they don't have a competitive chassis, or they don't think they're going to be competitive. They're going to leave, and they ain't coming back because we've had so many guys leave they've never come back in wing car racing. So you whatever, guys. If you want to save it, you got to have rules and you got to have limitations and stuff. You can't turn all the lower classes into Group 7 classes.
Right. Well, what's funny is, like, if you look on their Facebook page, like, all they're doing is, like, arguing about the rules already. It's like,
right.
Because
everybody wants something different.
They want to argue about spec tires or open tires or, one guy says, well, if this organization doesn't make a spec tire, I'm not coming because it's going to be too much money, know?
Right.
Like, here we go again,
Right. You can't please everybody.
Right.
And, the thing is, if you don't like the rules of the organization, then don't race the organization. Don't support it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, you know what? That even goes back to the whole, FK motor thing. You know what? These guys keep going on and on about the motors and this and that. If you guys don't like them motors, quit racing. Don't race them.
Yeah.
Or quit your bitching.
Yeah. I mean, so basically now what has happened is Tracy has took his original USRA Nats and date, and he said, well, we're going to run the new rules at this race.
Okay.
So go ahead. You can explain
okay. I mean, basically back when Tracy proposed to host the USRA Nats, to be the USRA Nats host, part of the proposal is your schedule and your payout and your dates and what classes you're going to run on a day. So he proposed that, I want to host the 48th annual 2018 USRA Nationals. And, here's my schedule. Here's the classes I'm going to run. And, that was all announced back last June, July. I think Tracy even announced his proposal like back maybe late April or early May. He put it out there that, we're bidding for the Nats. And basically, because he does have a very nice facility and he has the fastest track in the country, there were other raceways that wasn't even going to submit a proposal because they knew that they weren't going to.
Right.
They knew they were going to get voted. They were just wasting their time and effort and money to try and battle that. So, and I think the general consensus was, everybody wanted to go to Tracy's and race.
Sure.
So, Tracy agreed to all the USRA stuff, and a couple of days ago that changed, and the USRA, went back to him and said,
and it's in the rule book.
It's in the rule book. Yeah.
what will happen if you decide to do this? And basically, it says
Right.
that we'll pull your race and we'll give it something.
Right. And see,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's the USRA's race. The raceway hosts the event. Okay, so basically, you're opening your raceway for the USRA to come in and run their classes by their rules. And if you have a problem with that, then you probably need to not propose or bid or call up the USRA and say, hey, you know what, we're going to change things up. We don't want to host this race. We're going to do something different. And that wasn't really the case either. It was just, boom, we're having USRA Nats, the new USRA Nats on this date, and we're going to change a couple classes and, non-USRA classes and change the schedule. And, we're going to let Cahosa stuff in, and that's not going to fly with the USRA administration. Sorry, folks.
Yeah. So I guess now it's up to
it's the USRA Nats. And see, that's another thing too. I mean, 5-6 guys say, well, we're taking over the wing car division. Where was your meeting for this? Like, the only place the USRA meetings take place for officials to be voted in is at the USRA Nats for division directors or an online vote for the national director. But see, they're not the USRA. They're not. Name only. In different name only. So there you have it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they would maybe called up Roger and said, hey, you know what, we're having this race at Tracy's, we're going to have this discussion. We want you there. I'm not saying he would have went there, but maybe that might have been a different approach, better approach. I don't know. So, but I mean, again, all these problems have been going on for, I don't know how many years now, and they've all woke up and decided they're going to save it. I mean, nobody proposed any changes in the past. So, but now you see what, they're just taking the USRA rules and starting to butcher them to their liking, and they can't even agree on that.
Right.
So, as we always used to say about the JP Van Rossum races, we didn't know what the rules were before we went. We didn't know what the rules were when we were there, and we sure as hell didn't know the rules after we left.
Yeah, that was true.
So,
well, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, there'll be there'll be 2 races, and I'm sure people will go to both. So
there'll be some people go to both, and there'll be people that not so much take a side, but make a choice.
Right, sure. I mean, people go to both, meaning,
right.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm not saying. What I want to say is, part of this is trying to bring the USRA in line to what the rest of the world does with wing cars. Now, that can be good or it can be bad. Okay, because in Europe, they're racing in clubs. I mean, how many king tracks are there in Europe? I mean, and I don't know, like in America, maybe there's probably about the same number of king track. Well, I think we have probably more king tracks here than they do in Europe. But we have a commercial deal. Where over there, it's a club deal. And they all agree. And at the same time, in some ways, maybe our rules should be more like theirs, but we still have to have submissions and things like that for a bigger audience of people.
Right.
So, like the Eurosport cars went to Israel rules back in, I think, 2008 or 9, and they've run Israel rules for, Eurosport 24th, 32nd, and F1 ever since. And that puts our guys on the same page over there. But those are open Group 7 type classes. That's another thing. You've got open classes and you have restricted classes. Mm-hmm. So, some rules require, in USRA for 30 some years, there's been requirements for chassis and motor parts and things to be sold through distribution at certain prices and certain discounts. And, some people have been able to hear that and some haven't, but it's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, speaking of Roger, he did give a couple things. He wants to give a couple. He has some new tire wrenches,
I dropped it on the floor.
and he wants to give two of them away.
And it didn't break. You probably seen them on Facebook.
Yeah. The red aluminum anodized. They have a little storage space in them. Take the cap off, store stuff in them. The tip is titanium nitrate, I believe.
Coated, yeah.
Titanium nitrate coated.
I mean, it's definitely for the guy who doesn't like to get close to his work. I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, like I told you,
you could probably cut that off. And
you could take it out and short it out, and have this much out down here. I mean, so
yeah.
I've got a long wrench in my box I really like. It's not this long. It's probably about this long.
Yeah. Sometimes the long ones are nice on like retro cars for getting in motor screws or because you can kind of get out an angle,
right,
and work around the gears and whatnot. But anyway, so he wants to give away two. So you got the bucket.
I have the bucket,
and if you win them, contact Mid America and they'll send them to you.
There is one slip. John Sullivan.
John Sullivan, all right.
John Sullivan.
One more. Winner, chicken dinner.
Maybe I'll pull Dan Myers out because he claimed the other day that his name's not in here or something. And the other one is Ron Herrera, nice guy Ron Herrera, Group 7 racer.
There you go. All right, cool. If anybody has anything they want to give away, just let us know. Because somebody asked me the other day, like, why do you always give away Roger stuff? Well, it's because Roger
send something in and we'll give it away for you.
Yes, because Roger says he wants to give it away, so he give it away. So if anybody else wants to donate something or whatever, let us know. So
yes.
All right. Well, that's about all I got this week.
That's all I kind of got too. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see how the story of the new USRA plays out here in the future, and we'll see if we get any more companies submit motors to the IRA. You never know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it's still open. Submissions are still open.
And next weekend is the FNRS race. First one of the season, of the year, the Hobby Max in Durham. So if you guys are anywhere in the area or even not in the area, check it out. It should be a pretty good turnout.
Looking that way.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Episode 27.
In the books.
Out. And whoa.
Uh-oh.
Secret word of the show.
Secret word. Oh, you picked last week, so I guess you know what? We'll just go with Batman.
All right, Batman. All right, that'll work. And if you guys got any questions, just send it to the page, and if it's something we can get to on air, we will. Let us know.
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys. Have fun racing. Be safe.
Yep. Bye.